everybody thinks the Raiders lost. In the Khalil Mack story goes to the Bears, right? Everybody's banging on the Raiders. And I was banging on the Raiders yesterday. And I thought about it. I got to pay respects to the Raiders with my black shirt today. And the reason I'm doing that, because they were not the real loser in the Khalil Mack deal. The real loser was Aaron Rodgers. I want you to think about this. I want you to think about this. If you're the Green Bay Packers, why didn't you get Khalil Mack? A, you're the only team in the NFL with 2 first-round picks next year. Have them. You're it. Nobody else has them. One quick, you get 2 firsts, we get the next Lawrence Taylor. B, you knew rival Bears in your division, you play them twice a year, were going after Khalil Mack. It had been reported before the deal. Aaron Rodgers has had 2 collarbone surgeries. Want to face him minimum 10 times next 5 years? That Viking pass rush and Khalil Mack, the next Lawrence Taylor? Really? Want Aaron to see that? Think he's going to get to Aaron a couple times? I don't know. Plays him 10 times in 5 years. You want to face the next Lawrence Taylor? C, Green Bay's defense right now is young and mostly cheap. You've got room to spend big money on a Khalil Mack. D, Reggie McKenzie is a former Packer executive. He's the current Raiders GM. You had a built-in emotional, psychological advantage. You had a guy that respects and likes the Packers in the building, and you didn't use it. E, we got history here, folks. Green Bay is not where free agent stars go. They don't go to Green Bay. So when you can get them in a trade, you get them in a trade. F, Aaron Rodgers never loses in the playoffs when you give him help defensively. When Green Bay gives up fewer than 23 points in the playoffs, Aaron Rodgers has never lost. But here's what Green Bay has given up in his losses in the playoffs. 51 points, 37 points, 45 points, 28 points, 26 points, 44 points. Green Bay's 7-1 if you can just hold people to a reasonable number, 23. You've got good interior defensive linemen. You drafted corners. Next year, the one thing in the first round you're going to draft, you were going to draft a defensive end, a pass rusher. I said this yesterday. Once again, people in Green Bay, this organization is not comfortable with risk. But Colin, we signed Aaron Rodgers to an extension. That's not risk. That's duh. That's like telling my kids, hey, don't walk out in front of traffic. That's like, hey, I didn't jump out of a plane without a parachute. Of course you re-sign Aaron Rodgers. That's not courage. That's like you're idiots if you don't do that. Khalil Mack, well, it takes a little courage. You got to give up stuff to get stuff. I mean, Green Bay, you got a guy off of collarbone surgery. You knew your rival was going after him. I mean, you do realize the Patriots traded Garoppolo to the other conference. They didn't want to face him. You knew the rival Bears were going after him, and they already have a good defensive front. You already got Minnesota's defense. Now you got Chicago's defensive front. And you had 2 first-round picks. And you know if you give Aaron a little defensive help, he never loses in the playoffs. The one time you gave him a defense, he won you a Super Bowl. I mean, come on. I don't want to hear that signing Aaron Rodgers took guts. That's the biggest duh in professional sports. Courage would have been, we're going to give up 2 first-round picks to get Khalil Mack. You had it. You're not a free agent destination, and you blew it. Hard Knocks Final Edition was on last night. I'm a parent. I've got kids, and I've got stepkids. And here's the way it works. Everybody watching me that's a parent, every parent listening to me knows what I'm about to say is true. As a dad, sometimes I'll talk to my wife, and you have these conversations. You know, do you think he's ready to do this by himself? Is she ready to do it by himself? And your kids are all different. Some are more mature, some are less mature. Some can handle being out by themselves, some can't. And it really happens a lot with driving when you're young. Is she ready for a driver's license or one of those like permits where the parents are in the car? And if you really trust your kid and you think they're mature and they can handle it, you just get them a driver's license. And you don't have to be in the car, and you just let them go. They're going to drive to another state, and you trust them. That's a great, great feeling as a parent, and it shows you the respect for the kid. But if you just get them a learner's permit, honey, we'll let you drive, but Dad and I will be in the car as we go to the grocery store. You love them. You think they're capable, but you don't really trust them yet. Maturity. So, Baker Mayfield on Hard Knocks last night got a learner's permit. The number one pick has earned the backup quarterback role. What the Browns coaches are saying is, we think you're talented, you're a really good kid, but right now we're gonna bring you along kind of slowly here. Philadelphia with Carson Wentz and the Jets with Sam Darnold. Both, when Wentz went to Philadelphia, they already had a starter, Sam Bradford. They had a starter. They were going to bring Wentz along slowly. When the Jets had Sam Darnold fall to them at number 3, Josh McCown was very good last year. Go look at his stats week 1 through 14. They brought in Teddy Bridgewater in March. They had a starter. But Wentz and Darnold were so impressive that the coaches / parents said, we're going to trade the quarterback. We're going to trade Sam Bradford. We're going to trade Teddy Bridgewater. It's your car. Now, we know you're not going to be the best driver on the road. We know you're not going to be a perfect driver. But here's the keys. We'll see you tomorrow. Cleveland, even with just Tyrod Taylor, you have earned your right to a learner's permit. But Mom and Dad will be in the car. Let's go to the grocery store. That's what happened yesterday. Because this is why Baker was never a number one pick. He'll work in the NFL. He'll be fine. He'll win games. That's not it. Number one picks. Carson Wentz came into Philly, and Sam Darnold came into the Jets. And they are so impressive. Number one quarterbacks, Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, Cam, create these wow moments where you're like, whoa, we got ourselves a star. He's not refined and polished. We don't need Sam Bradford. We don't need Teddy. Remember when Doug Peterson was on my show a week ago, and I asked him, in camp, when was that moment you were like, okay, we can trade Sam Bradford. We got ourselves a star.
There was a moment in training camp that year, that our first year, where he eluded the rush and did one of his sort of that Washington. Remember the clip of the Washington Redskins last year, opening day? He made that amazing scramble where he kind of ducked and spun out. Well, he did one of those type of moves in training camp his first year as a rookie and completed the ball down the field. And at that point, you're just kind of going, this kid's got something to him. He's going to be a special kid in this league, a special talent, and a mighty fine quarterback.
That's what a number one or number two or number three pick at quarterback should be. That they're not refined, they're not perfect, but Cam did things, and Luck did things, and Carson Wentz a 2-pick did things, and Darnold as a number 3 pick. They do things, and you're willing to trade veterans who at the moment are better than them, but there are just, wow. That's what parents do. That's what I've done. My daughter, very mature kid, at a very early age, here's the keys. Here's the keys. You're not going to be the best driver on the road, but here are the keys. At this point, I love my son, but I'm not letting him ride his bike without me kind of keeping my eye on him. Where are you going? Where? Here's the bike, but don't turn right there. It's different. It's not a matter of not loving. It's not a matter of, this is the way parents operate. This is the way we all operate. When we feel You are so talented, so good. You can do it on your own. Overcome mistakes. And Sam Darnold's going to have 20 picks. He's going to fumble the ball. He's going to get beat up. Same with Carson Wentz. This is why if you're going to draft a quarterback number 1, you better know he's going to give you some wow, and you can give him keys to that car day one, and he is just going to burrow through it. He's just Peyton Manning. He's going to throw picks. He's just going to have so much talent. Cam's going to have so much talent. Luck's got to have so much talent. They're just going to burrow through it. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.